Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, people all over the world? For those who don't know, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Lonnie Copeland, aka Chico Dusty, and I am the CEO of Alcon Entertainment, which is a spinoff with Alcon Digital, as well as Kadobi Apparel. And just going to kind of go into some little history about who I am and what I have done in the entertainment industry. So first and foremost, I'm going to start with around 1990, 91. I was in high school and I came up with the name Alcon Entertainment, which stands for a local kid out of nowhere. And I did some self-research and knowledge. I've always, I wrote songs when I was in high school. I was an artist myself. I performed, local talent shows or whatnot. And I used to be in a singing group. I just always had this passion for music ever since I was, a young kid. Even back when, Michael Jackson days, everybody wanted to be Mike. I had the curly hair, so I thought I resembled him the most. But anyway, and matter of fact, shouts out to a lot of my homeboys, like, Family DRS, a lot of guys I went to school with. They can relate to those issues, and well, not issues, but those moments of truth. That's what I would call it. But anyway, I'm a CEO of my own entertainment conglomerate or whatever, and I've had some great success over the years. I really have. I had my first of all, out of Tallahassee, Florida. This is where I'm from. Born and raised here. Traveled. I moved to Atlanta. I did several great things there as well. But anyway, it all originated from Tallahassee, Florida. And I started a record company pretty much on a shoestring budget. Like most companies do in the beginning. You have to, get into it and start with a little or nothing and make something happen. So, going through my journey, I was able to borrow some money from, family and whatnot. My dad, my granddad, they helped me along the way in the beginning of the process. Also, I went to school and I was able to use some of my funding from there to spin off and, press up my first project, which was in a group called Neighborhood Nuisance. And that was shout out to Ant B and A-Rock. Yeah, they was like one of the first artists that I kind of worked with under the Alcon. Which is a local kid out of nowhere is what we end up making the abbreviation stand for anyway. So moving forward, I was able to get a group Out of Order. Lil Shabazz, a lot of you guys probably know him for sure. From a lot of the songs he did, it was bass music. And we did a group called Out of Order. And him and Rod Ross, they had a song called Tutti Frutti Jump. And Tutti Frutti Jump ended up being a big record, a big project for me. And the way it came about, I think I was like 18 years old and maybe, about 19 maybe when I was first started doing that. But I did it and I ended up having surgery or whatnot. Well, I think that was on my first project with Neighborhood Nuisance. But let me go to the Out of Order. So basically, we did the Out of Order record, Total Chaos. Rest in peace, Total Chaos. He did the production. Thomas T.J. Chapman. He had a record pool. I think it was called Charisma Entertainment at that time. And he heard the record, and he was like, "Yo, man, this is a big record or whatnot." And he was like, I have some connections and some plugs, man. We can make this thing happen. So one of my first guys that I really dealt with, and we were both young at the time and kind of fresh in the career. He had did some things with Prince Raheem and Island Records, so he had a lot of experience in the game. But we was able to collectively come together and work out a situation. Well, first BMG, but then later on we ended up doing the Warner Brothers. And that was a big deal for me at the time. And that's how that kind of transpired. But to bring everything forward, right now, today, I'm working on the MOS, Chico Dusty and the MOS project. By the way, MOS stands for Matrix of Sound. So with the Matrix of Sound, we have a record called Put a Band-Aid on It. And the reason why I decided to get back into the artistry, because I've always had a passion and I wanted to kind of give my creative expression, not just always put my efforts and energy behind somebody else's. I decided to start writing again and started getting into the AI artificial intelligence thing. You know, I just kind of experimented with that, you know, as far as production of the music and just the whole vibe. And I kind of liked the way it was going. So I ended up, you know, creating a project. And, you know, Put a Band-Aid on It was my first creation outside of my movies that I did, like a cartoon called, well, not a cartoon, but like more of the cartoon style of a short film, which is called The Exceptionals. So all in all, back to the MOS, I did the record, the Band-Aid record, and just kind of tested it out, played around with it, let a couple of people hear it, and they was like, hey man, you may be on to something, man, you know, let's polish it up. So my partner Rodney, we sat down and he came up and he said, yo man, you know, let's do this thing, you know, put a Band-Aid on it. I was like, put a Band-Aid on it. He was like, yeah. I said, oh man, okay. We was talking about females and, you know, how we used to do what we do and everything. So I was like, man, that sounds good. Let me try that. I'm gonna try that. And lo and behold, I went in there and you know, I created some magic. And then I started designing the whole thing. I started like going back in and I rewrote like a lot of the things and changed up a majority of the record. And I was like, this is dope, man. This is what I think is gonna be a big one. So moving forward, and I'm just trying to kind of condense everything down in a nutshell. So if I leave anybody out or some people that I did talk about, you know, stay tuned for part 2, part 3. You know, I'm gonna be dropping these videos because it's gonna take my journey is a long one, but I'm just trying to kind of get right into the meat and potatoes of the project that I'm currently working on right now. And by the way, you guys go check it out. I'm really going to be, you know, doing some shows, and I have some guys. And when I say the MOS family, that consists of songwriters, producers, even managers. It consists of a lot of different people that have like different spokes in the wheel in the entertainment, the film side of the business. So if you have any talent, anything, you may, you know, in MOS, you may want to work on a project. So, you know, get at me. You can always DM me, message you, whatever you want to do. You can go to alcon.digital and check things out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to include a link to the song below. Put a Band-Aid on it. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the link, you know, description below in the comments. So, you know, just check for it. And then you can actually download it for free. You know, go ahead and get a free download. You know, join the movement, man. We would love to have you on board. I do have some other great projects that I'm working on. So if, like I said, if you want to make a contribution, no matter what you're doing, you know, join the MOS family, the Matrix of Sound. We don't discriminate. We take it all. You know, we love it all over here at Alcon Digital. But it's a big thing about that. It's going to help me with the clothing as well, to spin off on the clothing, which is Kadobi Apparel. And that's a whole nother video that I'm going to get into. But that stands for creating a diversified outlook beyond ethnicities. And that's a deep concept. We are actually in the process of revamping some of the products that we sell and just doing a whole new restructure. But I just wanted to take time to touch bases with what I would call my fans now. You know what I mean? Chico Dusty, Lonnie Copeland, yours truly. You know, just kind of let you guys know I'm a person. I exist. You know, I make mistakes like everybody else. Who doesn't? But I'm putting a Band-Aid on mine. You know, I'm patching it up. And I'm gonna keep it moving, man. Things happen in life. And matter of fact, in the comments, y'all check, when y'all check out the project, y'all leave some comments in and give me something that in your life that you may be putting a Band-Aid on. You know, if you got a bad relationship, you're going through something at work, your car broke down, let me see something that you putting a Band-Aid on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's make a movement out of this thing. Let's really make this thing happen, man. Especially y'all out of the 850, man. Shout out to Dab, shout out to India. And by the way, Coffee Bean. We have a project that I started with Jay Diggs, Coffee Beans, some of the people we originated with, Prince Raheem. We did some stuff, the bass movement, the Miami bass movement project. And we're doing that thing. We got my boy Ed all of us are working together collectively to bring y'all a compilation of like some of the original Miami-based music. You know what I mean? And that's a big project. Shout out to Punkerhead, Splat Pack, and all those my guys, Tiger Hill, Butch. I can't forget about none of you guys. But like I say, y'all stay around for part 2. If I didn't, Bakari, once y'all, I still talk to him. All you guys have made an integral part in my music career. Tony G, Shampoo. We did a thing with the off glass. I can't forget about nobody. But again, if I didn't make mention of you in this video, y'all just follow me, and we're gonna get into part 2. But the main takeaway from this one is the MOS. I wanted to clarify some things. Like, yes, I am into the artistic expression. I'm more like a DJ Khaled, Quincy Jones guy. So I am looking for current people that can do all different facets in the business. You can write, you can produce, if you can market, you can promote. Shout out to my boy Speed. Shout out to Charles, Southern Soul, the whole thing, man. We moving, man. We all in this thing together. Walt G. I can't forget. Like I said, part 2 is coming. But anyway, y'all take away the MOS family, the matrix of sound. And if I did forget you, don't worry about it. I'm going to include you in the next one. Just DM me on the comments and put a band-aid on it from now on, right? Shout outs to just the world, all my future fans. You know what I'm saying? I want to get to know everybody. I want to touch bases with you, man. I am a person. This is Chico Dusty, and I'm going to keep dropping the words of inspiration and wisdom on y'all. And until we get together again on this part 2, man, y'all holler back and y'all follow me. And I'll get with y'all a little later. Yo, yo.